present what's been going on in our kindergarten, wing. This is, we have Brody Duncan and Jocelyn Brooker and Drew Suter and Kate Briscoe and Daniel Harlan are joining us here tonight from Mrs. Snow's kindergarten classroom. You guys can turn around and look at my friends over there too. They probably And so, Mrs. Snow, I want to give her a chance to speak in more detail about it. I had the opportunity to write a grant this year through the Warsaw Education Foundation to secure the funds for stability balls that are used in her classroom every day. And so the kids in Mrs. Snow's class, these are their seats if they so choose every day. And it's been really neat to see how it's impacted the kids, and it's just a really, really neat environment. So I don't want to steal all the thunder. I'll go ahead and have a seat on the yellow ball over there. This is
a lot of people, when I told them that my 5 and 6-year-olds, older people, would be sitting on balls all day, really thought that was just too far out of the box. But being a kindergarten teacher, you kind of have to be out of the box anyways all day. So I was looking for a way to find a way to engage my students during writing time. Now that we're full day, we have a full writing block, and it's wonderful. But sometimes they're 5 and 6, and they just don't want to sit still anymore. And they have lots to say, and we taught them to write it down when they say it. And sometimes they would just get bored. So they would get up to go do something, just to move. And I just kept thinking, there's got to be a way. There's got to be a way to help engage them a little more. That and the fact that they constantly would sit back on their chairs, and I was always worried someone was going to fall and bust their head open. So this summer, a good friend and colleague of mine, I pitched the idea to her, and she looked at me like I was crazy, but she encouraged me to write a Red Apple grant. And so I did that, and I bought one ball, the yellow one for myself, and one green one, and I put them in my classroom for a couple months, and talked to Mr. Robertson, and he said, cool, go for it. And he encouraged me to contact a couple of my parents and say, what do you think about your child sitting on a ball all day at school? And my wonderful parents were wonderfully supportive of my idea. And so I wrote the grant, sent it off, didn't know, never written a grant before. But Warsaw Education Foundation granted me that grant, and I was so excited to get the balls. The kids and I wrote rules for them because obviously 23 5 and 6-year-olds on balls all day might not work. But in my class it does, because they helped write the rules, and to keep them safe, do we know what are some of the rules we have for the balls in our room? No walk noise. Make a walk noise for them. And they said walk. So that I told them that walk noise joke is just no bananas, and so we can't do that. So they're really respectful of that most days. What are some more rules? Does anybody? We don't even talk about it anymore because they just do them all the time.
Feet stay on the ground.
Feet have to stay on the ground all the time. Mm-hmm. Why is that?
So we don't fall off.
Yeah, because Mrs. Snow is sometimes almost falling off hers. Yeah, when I'm leaning somewhere. Yes.
Do not make supplies go across the balls.
Yes, our supplies, our pencils, our scissors, our sharpened any pencils that we use, we have to keep them away because what could happen?
They could get popped.
Yeah. Any other rules, Brody?
No balls in recess.
Yeah, when it's inside recess, which we had a lot this summer. I mean, this winter. I wasn't in the room, and I didn't want that responsibility to be there for an assistant who was covering my room. So we just knew that at recess we can't use them, even though that would be a good time. Yeah. And so I brought the balls in. They did great. It was a little bit of an adjustment of this for a while, but now I don't even notice that they're on them all day. And sometimes kids will come to me and say, I want to sit in a regular chair today. So assistant and I just looked around the room and it was quiet. And they were just slowly bouncing and writing. And that is the most magical time because they're just totally engaged in what they're doing. And the writing time has increased to 30 to almost 40 minutes of sitting and writing. So they have a lot to say, and now they know they can say it. And I really think the balls, for me, has worked wonderfully. They've been a great class to experiment on. I've also learned that next year I'll have to start off slow again, maybe one ball again, and then introduce all of them when they all have had a chance to sit on them. But I'm excited for the kids. I'm excited throughout the winter that we had, that they could have moments where they could just bounce and release energy. Sometimes when they do something as a class collectively that makes me really happy, I'll give them free bounce time, and then they can make the walk noise all they want, and they just bounce. Can you do that for them? Like, just free bounce? Yeah. And they'll leave with a lot more in the room. But sometimes we turn on music, and they just go play. So.
Mrs. Snow, I was going to just interject. Parents, if you wish to come forward and take a picture, please feel free to do so.
Sherri, can I ask real quick, sorry? Was this something you came up with on your own, or did you see other classrooms doing it? Or
When I was thinking about that, through the summer I was looking at teaching blogs, and I'd seen a couple of classrooms with 1 or 2 balls in the room, and then another one had a full classroom of them, and I thought,
there you go. Okay.
why not?
Yeah.
Why not give it a try? So.
And I want to thank Sherri for, it's kind of an out-of-the-box idea, but it's been incredible. And just doing observations, it's just so neat to see the kids and the focus that really is there. And specifically, we know that each learner's got unique needs, and there are some specific learners that I think it helps all the kids, but man, we've just got a couple of kids in that classroom where it is really giving them the outlet to be able to use some of the energy that they have, but still accomplish the goal of learning what they need to learn. Obviously, we need to thank the Warsaw Education Foundation for making it possible as well. They've been great. And it's been neat. We had a group from a school up in Northern Indiana come down and check it out with some of their kindergarten teachers. And so since it was on WSBT and some other areas, we've been able to share this, and Sherri's been able to share this with other schools. And I've got parents put in requests to have one of these all the way through and things like that too. So we'll who knows where it'll go, but it's pretty incredible. So are there any other questions?
Have any of them popped yet?
No, hopefully they won't. The company that I did purchase them from, they cost more than a normal yoga ball, and they have little feet on them to help keep them from rolling. But they stand behind the product, and we're supposed to let them know if we see any wear or tear in the first year. And
It's a former teacher, correct?
yes,
Yeah. So
she was a teacher, and she packaged them up herself. So she stands behind her product. So far, no, none have popped.
David, have you had a lot of discussions on what's next? You just shared that some parents are already asking about.
We haven't yet. That's kind of the next step in the process. I can think of probably a handful of kids in each grade level where it's like, hey, that might be really good at skiing. So we need to look at it and kind of decide what we want to do. And it really is neat. You would think there might be management issues with the classroom, but there really is. When the kids take the ownership of making the rules for the balls together, they almost self-regulate. So that's the next step we definitely need to take.
And they are kids. They get the ball taken away sometimes, but they get it again the next day, and they get a brand new chance at it. And I think almost everybody's had it taken away one time or another, maybe, but sorry. Just for you. But, they're kids. They learn, and it's fine. One time someone did sit on one and didn't keep their feet on the floor and rolled back. And so we thought, we all, talked about the importance of keeping our feet. So safety was my number one concern, and just with talking to Mr. Robertson and him being supportive and parents, it was great.
But no one gotten hurt?
Nope.
What was they called? Intensity balls?
They're called stability balls.
Facility balls.
And I think I've seen some research where it's not only maybe a fun thing, but it's good exercise, strengthens your core.
Absolutely.
And improves your posture. It's amazing to watch them sit there because I'm not sure I'm always slouched back and sitting up straight. So there's some actual health benefits there.
There's a lot of benefits, yes.
Thanks so much for having
Thank
us.
you. Thank you.